All right, yes, I, Grenada, Carrico, Pity Mondic, and the world. I'd like to welcome you to another Mikey Life program, people. As we always say, this is where it all happens. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey, people. Things that you'll be hearing on the program tonight, probably you would have not heard it for the night, not heard it for the day. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So we on the inside, we're pretty. I want to say hello to all the first-time viewers on the program, people. You know, it's good when you can come and, you know, spend some time with us. If somebody told you about the program, tell them thank you. And you too, feel free to invite somebody else on the program, and that's how we do it. Speaking of invitation, for those of you on Facebook, I'd like for you to invite somebody onto the program. Share the business, share it on your wall, go through your messages and share it to your friends. Tell them, yo, the program is on, man. You know what I mean? That's your civic duty. Sharing is caring. People, my name is Mikey Hutchinson, and I'm ready for all you. I hope all are ready for me. It's been a long day. We just came from the St. George's Youth Parliament, and of course, very, very, very interesting debaters and perspective on the moot. We've been going through the communities and the parishes, and of course, highlighting the talent of our Grenadian people. The young politicians, the next prime ministers, governor generals, and members of parliament, and so on, man. That's where they'll be coming out. Youth Parliament is really, really good. You know what I mean? So big up to the Ministry of Youth and the initiative. You understand? I think the next move is in St. John. I think we're going to be at the St. Rose Modern Secondary School next week, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? Yeah, man. So all the big up all the whole self. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at the headlines and see what's there. All right. Drug confiscated. 3 men arrested. We're going to talk about that. Port Authority workers withholds labor for a good portion of the day today. Government negotiating team and teachers union hold cordial wage talks, they say. Attorney General speaks of recent sexual assault judgment in today's post-cabinet briefing. The United States to collect DNA samples from detained immigrants, even if you're detained for a short while. We're going to talk about that. And a pastor boy on child rape charge after assaulting a 13-year-old girl in Trinidad and Tobago. Boy. And 40 killed in St. Lucia for 2019 so far. That we will be talking about and more on tonight's program. We also have the national report for you coming up. We have the weather for you, you know, so all brace all yourself, you know what I mean? Yeah, hook up all yourself, feel comfortable. Get something to drink and things like that, and have your phone in your hand. Or for those of you who are watching on TV, blessings, man. Speaking of TV, we have to let you know that the headlines was brought to you to the kind compliments of WPG10, and that is channels 10 and 11. Big up Jay, big up Hamlet, and the entire crew at WPG10. Folks, we take it a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be real news in Ole Lily Lolo. So here what to do. Brace all yourselves. We are coming back.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Once again, the countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Quartz today and make this season even more epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Grenada, this one will have you rolling.
I'm breaking up with you. It's over.
The first annual KFC Come Laugh With Us comedy show featuring live from Nigeria comedy sensation Emanuela Success and the Mark Angel comedy crew.
I've sent the date. See you when I come.
Set the day. Mark the day. Saturday, December 14th. Grenada National Stadium. Get your early bird ticket. Kids on the 16th, $30. Adults, $50. Kids on the 16th. VIP tickets, $80. Adults, $150. Get your tickets online at GoToFet, TicketPal, and your regular ticket outlets. Grenada, this one will have you rolling. You, yes, you. We welcome you to a new era. Genesis, Genesis, Genesis. 31st December 2019. All Year's Night. Featuring the headline band from Antigua, the original Burning Flames. Burning Flames. Burning Flames, plus more, live at the Spice Basket Courtyard. Get your early bird tickets, 80 EC. Couples early bird tickets, 150 EC. Online at gotofat.com and your regular ticket outlets for a new era. Genesis, Genesis, you, yes, you.
Sunday, November 3rd.
Santa Claus will be at the National Stadium as Megaforce Promotions presents Christmas in November.
The Mega Bingo.
Imagine you can win up to $100,000 in raw cash. There'll be 18 games at $5,000 each and one game at $10,000. Tickets are $60 for one, $100 for two.
This year, Christmas is coming early.
As Megaforce Promotions present Christmas in November. The Mega Bingo.
Are you ready to win?
We are all winners, ain't it? Are you ready to win? All right, so folks, let's just check out. Yes, we see that we have a couple first-time viewers on the program, and even after we made our initial announcement, we still would need to say hello and welcome to the folks who are viewing Mikey Live for the first time. We are happy to have you, and those of you who are in WPG10 again, viewing for the first time, we have a harder time in monitoring who's on WPG10, all right? But still, we'd like to say thank you for joining us tonight. So let's just get right into the news today. Boy, it was the funeral service of Dr. Trevor Friday. Boy, if you see people, you understand? I think it's one of the biggest funerals many people will be seeing for a long time. You know, people from everywhere, government officials, students, teachers, principals, doctors, lawyers, musicians, people in the entertainment industry. I mean, you know, when people impact your life like that, it's rather interesting. And yeah, you don't get to see that kind of thing every day. So I think Dr. Trevor Friday, yeah boy, I mean, by virtue of the presence tonight, today, yeah, you get you. You know, you get you. So audio, yeah, we're moving on. Although it's a defining moment tonight with the 4 teams in the Western Basketball Championships meet. And second games of the best of 3 semifinals. All the action will be on the Guav hard court. Well, it started at around 7 o'clock. All right, and still they are there. You understand? Now Soul Rebels, having been defeated by Knockers, hello, in the first game, will be hoping to bounce back from the woes, as well as the Showtime, which lost their encounter with Sally Sixers. With the normal flow of play, basketball fans on the western side of the island can look forward to a really good performance from people like Nigel Nimrod, Elmont Williams, Greg St. John, Kester George, and you know, the whole crew. Big up Kester. You understand? I mean, Team Boy, Knockers. They changed the name of the team, right? Okay, it used to be Knockers. You understand? Most of these players are from the Sparklers Club, right? All right, good. Anyway, we are moving on. Although, as usual on Tuesdays, we like to let you know of what's taking place with regards to your electricity. And there are some areas that would experience scheduled outages. And so we have the notice ready for you from Grenlec. And these outages are part of the continuous upgrade and maintenance program to ensure continued safe and reliable electricity supply throughout the Tri-Island state. And so today, Dusty Highway was out of power from around 10 to around 4:30, and as well as Mount Agnes and Apwitut in St. David. Now that's for tomorrow. Mount Agnes and Apwitut, St. David will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then tomorrow as well, we have Grand Dance St. George's is going to be affected from 8:30 a.m. to about 1 p.m. The Limes, 1 a.m. to about 4 p.m. And Snell Hall on Thursday, St. Patrick, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Grand Dance again on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. All concerned, please take note, and Grenlec, of course, would like to apologize for any inconveniences likely to be caused. And that is why they're giving you early notice so that you can prepare accordingly. All right, they say that these scheduled outages are necessary, all right, to better the service that they provide to you. Now, the government negotiating team met Tuesday with the Grenada Union of Teachers to discuss wage increases for teachers for the contract cycle 2020 to 2022. According to the government, today's negotiations were cordial and there was movement from both sides with respect to the demand being made by the union and the offer presented by the GNT. It says that the flexibility of the parties demonstrate a willingness to reach a settlement at the earliest opportunity. Now, the next round of negotiations will be held on Thursday, October 24th, and the the GUT represents about 1,500 teachers across the country. Now, on the other side of thing, well, let me leave that talk. Today was no ordinary day for port workers. We live in a talk, we talk in the talk. Say, somebody say, talk the thing, Mikey. Today was no ordinary day, people, for the port authority workers. As somewhere, Mikey, hold on now. Yeah, man, somewhere during the day. Yeah, son, just before midday time, so maybe about at 10 or 11, so we started to get calls and things. Mikey, boy, yo, come down by the port, boy. Seems like something going on there, boy. Well, you know, in them old talk, they say, lo and behold, yes, the workers were seen in a meeting. You understand? In a meeting, they had some issues, some gripes with the Ministry of Finance that they said they need to get resolved ASAP. You understand? So they had a little meeting, and the representatives and so on from TAU was there. You understand? They say they want to be respectable. They want to do things in the right way. You understand? So they're going by the books with this. They say if they don't get settlement, if they don't get favorable response, then place mash up. You see how Christmas coming, they say, well, place mash up. Some of all them go get to it. All are going to cut all the pig and put it in salt for yourself. You understand? Because you don't get no harm. You understand? And if you want a barrel, you got to make it. You know, beat it. Yeah, boy. So the workers and them say they ain't playing this rounds. So I think they have until tomorrow midday to get some sort of answer from the government, from the finance ministry. And then we go know what will be taking place. You understand? So people, that seems to be a serious one, boy. They say they spit dry and they don't get an answer tomorrow. Place mash up. You understand? Well, let me see how things going here, Papa. Ain't making bad. You know what I mean? How we buy, so we sell. Earlier, a quantity of drugs was confiscated by police. 3 men are in police custody assisting with investigations into an anti-drug operation that yielded, here how much, 406 pounds of cannabis. Now, the illegal drugs was discovered during a joint anti-drug operation conducted by the officers attached to the Rapid Response Unit and Drug Squad on Monday. That was yesterday, boy, at Duquesne Bay, St. Mark. Meanwhile, during another police operation on Monday, 21st October, at the Carnage, St. George, it yielded half kilo of cocaine worth an estimated street value of half kilo of cocaine. I'm not sure I'll give me the right figures there. All had too many zeros on there, because I don't want to believe you telling me. So you know what? All you are going on to the limb here. $50,000 is 10 Caribbean currency. You understand? Unless all you give me too many zeros, I don't want to think it's 50 million. You understand? 50,000 is 10 Caribbean currency. You understand? They say that police are continuing on the carnage, On the carnage. Let me leave that topic. We're moving on. Although, how are we looking for time? Although, we're working on a story where we have been informed that a young lady was raped by some men in the south of the island. By some men. Some. You understand? We're working on it. We're just giving it another day to just dot some I's and cross some T's, and we'll boss it for you. You know what I mean? No, dog. You know what I mean? But don't tell nobody. I tell all that. Right between me and all you. We're working on it, and then once we get a little thing, we go share it with all you. But don't tell nobody. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me talk there. We're moving on. All you, the Attorney General addressed today the recent sexual assault judgment. Now, listen, everyone, right, is still talking about this. You understand? Where a man who admit to the crime, they put the man to pay $1,000 on a dog. $1,500 to be exact. We were talking to the attorney about the business today, Attorney Rogers Ferguson. You know what I mean? About that, what happens here. Now everybody agrees that the sentence is too lenient, so on the advice of the DPP, the Commissioner of Police filed an appeal. But I find like the Commissioner of Police, I tell him, man, we drink a beer. I mean, on a weekend, you take a drink, like go and chill, and we had to discuss. You know what I mean? Policing in the country. And I have a few ideas. You know what I mean? When the men them run away, I could tell how I could handle. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy. But it's a serious matter, dog. Even the Attorney General was talking about it, So they are saying that, okay, the individual might have left the country because he lives in another country. Well, the AG say, well, that's a small thing. Because persons can be extradited to Grenada if it comes to that. You understand? So for the people who feel shaky that, oh, this and that, but justice shall be served. So many people are disgruntled over this matter. It's crazy. It's absurd, to say the least. And this is the Attorney General addressing this matter today.
This is the recent sexual offense dealt with by the Grenville magistrate. This is a matter which has raised considerable public concern in both the mainstream media and on social platforms. Some of the features of this case is now well known. I'm told that the offender is a 24-year-old man who is Grenadian and is living in New York. He was here visiting from the USA when he committed this offense. He caused a young 5-year-old to perform oral sex on him. When he first came before the court charged with indecent assault, he was placed on bail, and on the second occasion when the matter came again, he pleaded guilty to the offense. He was sentenced to a fine of $1,500 and to pay compensation in the sum of $600 related to expenses incurred by the family. I'm told through discussions with the learned DPP that the file is being sent across, and so we will examine that in more detail. Now, real concern was expressed by many. Some complained that an investigation of the outcome was necessary. Why should a person be given a fine for this offense? Some asked. Some called it a mere slap on the wrist. Others stated that our laws need to be revisited. In short, there was much public outcry as letters and various articles called for legislative amendments, among other action. Now, I must say right off that this is an unfortunate matter, but as with each allegation of its kind, it underscores the role each of us have to play in the fight against criminal offending, and how we as leaders and civic-minded members of society must treat with such occasions when there are complaints against particular sentences dispensed by a court of law. I will confirm that there is nothing wrong with informed public criticism, which scrutinizes the correctness of a judicial ruling. Comments from leaders and right-thinking members of society, however, must be informed comments. Once this is kept in mind, then proper informed public criticism is what is expected of leaders and every right-thinking member of any democratic society. It leads to an interrogatory process. Questions are asked. Processes are adopted as a result. These are the things which can be done and would be done as a response to what one may perceive as a bad judicial decision.
Thank you very much, AG, on that matter. All right, we are moving on. How are we looking for time? We pretty? All right, we pretty. Olia, Grenada's first and only island-wide LTE network provider, that is Digicel, in the news. Digicel making a Mikey Live tonight, because we were telling you about the strides that they have made and so on, and what they have been doing within the community. And just last week, Friday, they concluded the tour. You understand? Talking about youth ambassadors tour to the secondary schools, people. You understand? As they celebrated their Sweet 16. Now, to mark the occasion, the company celebrated with its loyal customers and its outlet island at its outlets island-wide. Customers were treated to sweet treats and specials and amazing prices. Now, the celebration was good, they say. It commenced Tuesday, and it started with the launch of the Digital Youth Ambassadors Program. And Digital Youth Ambassadors Program strives to inspire young students by providing a positive and age-appropriate empowerment experience, highlighting exposure to different career paths and opportunities to help students begin to focus on long-term goals. So the first phase of the program, which was facilitated by Digital Ambassadors Vaughn, Dash, Java, Mikey, and special guest Terra, the governor, included an hour-and-a-half session inclusive of pep talks and music and one-to-one interactions with students. Now, the main focus was on bullying and violence in schools. Now, phase 1 of the Digital Youth Ambassadors Program saw visits to 6 secondary schools as follows: Grenville Secondary, Westerhall Secondary, Wesley College, St. Joseph's Convent Grenville, St. Mark Secondary, and McDonald College. And phase 2 is scheduled for early 2020. Now, Siobhan Redhead, Digital's Chief Executive Officer, expressed her delight in the company reaching its 16th anniversary, stating that Switch 16 is significant because it means that in those 16 years, they have successfully kept good on their promise to the customers and to the country. And that it's in itself is a fantastic reason to celebrate with the youth, who is our future. And Digital expresses profound appreciation to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Piedmont Martinique for 16 amazing years, and promises bigger and better things are coming. You understand? Good. Olio, we moving on. All right, Olio. This one we found out today, and we have to share this with Olio. All right. Now, the Trump administration, don't tell them I tell all of that, is planning to collect DNA samples from asylum seekers and other migrants detained by immigration officials, and will add the information to a massive FBI database used by law enforcement hunting for criminals. A Justice Department official has confirmed this. Now, the Justice Department yesterday issued amendment regulations that will mandate DNA collection for almost all migrants who cross between official entry points and are held even temporarily. Now, they say that the rules will not apply to legal permanent residents or anyone entering the U.S. legally, and the children under 14 are exempt, but it's unclear whether asylum seekers who come through official crossings will be exempt. You understand? So that is one we got to take a little look at still. You understand? Yes. But I tell all you what to do already. And don't make this kind of news and then make all you feel shaky in all the country better. A pastor face court yesterday charged with sexual penetration of a 13-year-old Trinidad boy. A 46-year-old in the dog. Yeah? 46, you know. Sexually penetrating a 13-year-old girl. So he was in court. Eh? I don't really want to read that story now. You had too much of that happening, man. You know what I mean? You had too much of that happening. Yeah? Too much of that happening, dog. So let me skip that one now. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just talk about another story. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. We're moving on. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force. They say they have been making headways with the investigations into the island's recent homicides. I think they had about 3 homicides within just the space of a week. They're about. Right? They are up to 40. Ain't making up. They are up to 40 killings so far for 2019 in St. Lucia.
St. Lucia's homicide count has bumped to 40 so far for 2019, the past few weeks contributing at least 3 to that total. At a press conference convened on Tuesday, Police Press Officer Corporal Ann Joseph told the media that there has been some success on their part.
On Friday, October 18, 2019, 25-year-old Noah Alex Valsin alias Alec of Barons Drive in Soufrière, as well as 26-year-old Sion Gills of New Development in Soufrière, were both charged for causing the death of Shalom Cyril and the attempted murder of Sheldon Lucien on October the 12, 2019 on Breed Street in Soufrière. They were both escorted to the court where they were remanded into custody until the next appearance, which is November 27, 2019.
Shalom Cyril, the lone fatality, was one of 3 men shot during that Soufrière incident. An 18-year-old, meanwhile, has been charged for a homicide on the opposite side of the island.
Jalix Howell of Montparnasse in Dennery was arrested and charged for causing the death of Burke Baptiste, a 28-year-old whose body was recovered on the 15th of October 2019 in Dennery. And Howell is remanded into custody until the 21st of November 2019.
On Tuesday, September 22nd, a 17-year-old Dennery resident was also arrested in connection with the homicide. He was found in possession of a .380 pistol and 7 rounds of ammunition. The teen remains in custody, awaiting charges. Headway has also been made with investigations into the October 19th discovery of the lifeless body of 45-year-old Titus Joseph at Opicor VA4.
It was alleged at the time of the report that he sustained a stab wound. A post-mortem examination has been conducted and we're able to confirm that the cause of death is exsanguination secondary to injury to the heart due to a stab wound to the chest. We're asking anyone with information regarding this incident to contact the Beaufort Police Station at 456-3905. But what I can say is currently we have 5 individuals in custody in relation to that incident.
3 men were detained by traffic police on October 19th in relation to a robbery which occurred in Dennery that same day. They were the occupants of a silver Honda Civic, registration number 1908.
These individuals were all detained, arrested, and a .38 special revolver with 2 rounds of ammunition was recovered. 43-year-old Ernie Charles of Grand Riviere Groseley, 42-year-old Kelvin Hutchinson of Wilton's Garden Castries, and 26-year-old Shaquille Rosemary of Rock Hall Castries were the occupants. They have all been arrested and formally charged for the offense of possession of a firearm without a valid license, as well as for the offense of possession of ammunition without a valid license.
Police have not made a definite link between the 3 men and the Dennery robbery as yet. Miguel Fabry, NBC Prime, St. Lucia's.
Thank you very much, Miguel. You know, even if these incidents don't happen in Grenada, you still have to feel it because, I mean, when you think about somebody's life, you know, somebody's child, somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's cousin, you know, it really does hit home, you know, and yeah. Anyway, did you all hear anything about Amber Geiger? Well, remember Amber Geiger is the female officer, a former officer who killed the St. Lucian, Bottom Jean. Well, all you, hold on, I'm not ready for you yet. All you, they are now appealing or taking steps to appeal the sentence of the 10-year sentence. I'm not making it up. Lawyers representing convicted murderer and former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger have filed an intent to appeal. No, it says that according to Robert Rogers, one of Geiger's attorneys, the team plans to appeal both her murder conviction and her 10-year sentence. I don't think I have to read more, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, who appealing Bottom's death? You know, if you have such humility, and that's why I have my gripe, right? If you have such humility, and if you are so remorseful as you would appear to be, all right, then what's the point? Do your time, you know, because Bottom can't appeal his death. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. I feel like it's just the right thing to do. You go through a process. The judge finds you guilty. The jury finds you guilty. You get a sentence. You kill a man. You do your time. So we're talking about appeal. When you sit down there and you talk about God and all the talk, you see, yo. Anyway, let me take a break. When I come back, so I'm taking a break. When I come back, I have the entertainment piece for you, and then we will have the national report for you, and as well.
Click add to Chrome to continue.
Miss, you come out. Yeah, let's come out. You understand? So let me do that and come back because I find that don't even making no sense. We're taking a break, and we'll be returning very shortly.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I
again. The countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Quartz today and make this season even more epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Grenada, this one will have you rolling.
I'm breaking up with you. It's over.
The first annual KFC Come Laugh With Us comedy show featuring live from Nigeria comedy sensation Emanuela, Success, and the Mark Angel comedy crew.
I've sent the date. See you when I come.
Set the day. Mark the day. Saturday, December 14th. Grenada National Stadium. Get your early bird ticket. Kids on the 16th, $30. Adults, $50. Kids on the 16th. VIP tickets, $80. Adults, $150. Get your tickets online at GoToFet, TicketPal, and your regular ticket outlets. Grenada, this one will have you rolling. You, yes you, we welcome you to a new era. Genesis. 31st December 2019, All Year's Night, featuring the headline band from Antigua, the original Burning Flames. Burning Flames. Burning Flames, plus more, live at the Spice Basket Courtyard. Get your early bird tickets, 80 EC. Couples early bird tickets, 150 EC. Online at gotofet.com and your regular ticket outlets for a new era. Genesis. You, yes you.
Yes, Genesis. And folks, we go straight into our entertainment piece for today. Check this. This one needs no introduction.
Impressed, clean, fresh, clean from my bone to my step. Now like I'm clean, fresh, every day. Clocks lace up, clean t-shirt, pants, wallaby, mad flex, call me shop done. Girl in a crop top, me a hoop and she and a friend, three of us create a fusion. Silly girl a move, sexy body groove, say I wanna work. You are going good, you are do it rude, no you wanna fuss. This is what we can do. Anything say you want to. Get this something like bamboo. On the floor to the bathroom. There's nothing that we can do. On the front door, brother. This is what you can do. Anything what you want to.
Danger my name. Big drip, girl, wine gun down. What's a split when you wine, you forgive me all. Love you for days when you wine up your waist and you want to get up and all. Girl, you need that top man, me got the style I know. Cute face, your skin and your size so. Run around the place, me never tap me with the want you. If what you do not feel like up.
This is what we can do. Anything say you want to. Get this something like bamboo. On the floor to the bathroom. There's nothing that we can do. On the front door, brother. This is what you can can do. Anything where you want do. Clean, clean, fresh, fresh, clean from my bone to my step. Now like I'm clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Every day got me impressed. Clean, clean, fresh, fresh, clean from my bone to my step. Now like I'm clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Every day, every day. This is what we can do. Anything say you want to. Get this something like bamboo. From the floor to the bathroom. There's nothing that we can't do. On the front door, smart out. Yeah, this is what we can do. Anything say you want to. Clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Clean from my bone to my step down. Like clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Every day got me impressed. Clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Clean from my bone to my step down. Like clean, clean, fresh, fresh. Every day got me impressed.
Whoa! Nah. This is off. Listen, man. Woo! We've got talent. Yes, that's all people right there. And of course, people, you see, you have to see what we are made of. Don't let nobody make you feel like you're not as valuable. Look at the kind of things that we are doing out there. We are making a mark for ourselves. But the problem that hinders us is that we don't recognize that ourselves. So it's other people to recognize it for us. You see, if we start appreciating our own and giving them respect, attention, and reward that they deserve, man, I tell you, this place is going to be such a wonderful place, yeah? Anyway, so what we have right now, we're running out of time, is the national report, and following that, we will have the weather for you.
Government negotiating team committed to resolving wage dispute with TAU and PWU. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, October 22nd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The government negotiating team has pledged its commitment to resolving the current dispute with the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union and the Public Workers Union over wage increases for public officers. However, the GNT says if any progress is to be made around the table with labor unions, there is need for a conciliator to bring the parties closer together, given the great disparity between the government's offer and the union's demand. During a press conference immediately following the post-cabinet press briefing on Tuesday, head of the GNT, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, reiterated that they are prepared to consider any, quote, reasonable and justifiable demand by the union, unquote. The unions have only slightly dropped their demands for salary increases for public officers from $90.5 million to $89 million, while the government is offering $26.6 million, taking into consideration government's commitments to other sectors of the population. Minister Joseph says it must be borne in mind that negotiations will be conducted differently under the fiscal responsibility legislation.
The union said they do not recognize the deadlock. Well, under the labor law, the other side do not have to agree. And there was clearly no movement, so there is deadlock. No movement, you declare deadlock. So if you have to wait for the other side, either party, to agree, then it will be difficult for anyone to declare deadlock, because all the other party have to say is that we do not agree. So the argument that they do not agree, and the letter to me that we could go back around the table, when the matter is before the Labour Commissioner, when we indicated that we were prepared to go to conciliation and there look at fresh proposal, and they have refused to attend the both meetings, even when the Labour Commissioner rescheduled a meeting. They wrote a letter saying they're not available between the 21st to the 24th. But they wanted to meet with the GNT on the 22nd. But if they're not available to meet with the Labour Commissioner, how come they are available to meet with the GNT? So the matter will, before the Labour Commissioner, he will decide whether the matter should go to mediation if there is no, if the parties are not prepared to meet. Well, we attended all the meetings and they have not showed up.
Cabinet Secretary Mrs. Beryl Isaac says the union's proposal, which will cost the government $89 million, will breach the primary expenditure rule, and as part of the fiscal responsibility legislation, government cannot incur expenditure of more than 2% on the previous year.
Government has to pay increments, $2 million. They are about to make the advance payment to pensioners who are eligible pensioners. Regularization, we have the continued regularization of teachers, we have nurses, we have pharmacists, doctors, all of that is in the work.
She says with the enactment of the fiscal responsibility law, the processes and procedures for negotiations have changed.
Under the FRL, we know that there's no longer going to be any back pay. Negotiations have to be forward-looking, so that whatever is agreed to will be budgeted for in the next cycle. So if we have to agree in 2019 so that the budget could be included in the 2020 estimates of revenue and expenditure.
The Cabinet Secretary says they want to conclude negotiations by October 31st so that provisions can be made in the 2020 budget, which will be read in November. The government's negotiating team met Tuesday with the Grenada Union of Teachers to discuss wage increases for teachers for the contract cycle 2020 to 2022. The negotiations were cordial and there was movement from both sides with respect to the demand being made by the union and the offer presented by the government negotiating team. The flexibility of the parties demonstrates a willingness to reach a settlement at the earliest opportunity. The next round of negotiations will be held on Thursday, October 24th. The duty represents about 1,500 teachers across the country. In other news, Grenada is now a part of the OECS Regional Health Association. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Health, the Caribbean Public Health Agency CARPHA, and the World Bank signed the agreement for the $30.6 million funded project throughout the OECS. The Regional Health Project will serve to mitigate the effects of climate change, build capacity, strengthen the surveillance system, and boost recovery and response. Speaking during the launch of the project, Health Minister the Honorable Nicholas Steele expressed optimism that the multi-million-dollar project throughout the OECS will strengthen the resilience of the health system. The project will run for 5 years.
As people in SIDS, we have had the collective experience of devastating impacts of extreme weather events, including Hurricane Ivan in 2004 in Grenada, Maria in Dominica in 2015, and most recently Hurricane Dorian in Bahamas only a few short weeks ago. We also will know the devastating impacts of chikungunya and Zika outbreaks in the region in 2016 and 2017, and the debilitating personal, social, and economic burdens placed on the people of the region as a result of these extreme events. Collective efforts will ensure that as SIDS, the people of the Caribbean are better prepared to respond to climate change and to help shape the future of the next generation.
Minister Steele says $6 million have been allocated for the Grenada project, which will see improvements in 4 key sites in St. George's, St. David, and St. Patrick.
Infrastructure work is planned at 4 sites in Grenada, the Mount Gay Psychiatric Hospital, to ensure the facilities are available for the care of vulnerable members of our citizenry, especially geriatrics and children. The St. Health Center, the St. David's Health Center, which continues the smarting initiatives in previous projects, and the General Hospital, the ICU operating theater. The infrastructure and operations of the Public Health Laboratory at the General Hospital will be enhanced. Support will be provided for the health emergency planning and operations. Opportunities will be provided through training to enhance the skills and competencies of staff to support the project implementation, and to sustain the long-term benefits resulting from the project intervention.
World Bank representative Michel Gragnolati commended the region on taking this bold step to initiate such an investment in the health sector.
It is the first World Bank regional health project in the Caribbean. It is the first project to follow climate resilient infrastructure in the context of health facilities. And it is the first and the only to leverage funds from a regional facility that IDA 18 provides. Said in other words, it means that you, by working as a region, have been able to access much more concessional financing than you would if you had worked only as individual countries.
So far, only 4 countries, including Grenada, have signed on to the project's agreement. Partnering countries will spend the next 2 days in Grenada, charting the way forward for the OECS project. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Grenada, it's coming as the Ministry of Youth, Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts brings to you National Youth Week 2019, and it's one full week of activities, vibes and action as the nation turns their attention on the nation's youth. And it's from Saturday, October 19 till Saturday, November 2nd under the theme Embracing Opportunities, Sowing Higher. October 19th and 20th, National Community Service Weekend, island-wide. October 26th, Health Walk and Ministers Address. October 28th, Youth Vibe. October 29th, St. John's Youth Parliament. October 30th, Job Fair and Career Day. October 31st, Fun Nights. November 1st, Discovering Talents and Expo. November 2nd, it's National Youth Award. Sunday, November 3rd, Ecumenical Service and Peace Concert. So urging everyone to be a part of Youth Week 2019, October 19th to November 2nd.
Continuing the news, the government of Grenada says tackling the backlog of cases will be given priority when court operations begin in earnest next week. Following the completion of retrofitting work on the Clico building on Young Street, the functioning of one of the courts was tested this week. During Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Attorney General Darshan Ramdani said the immediate task is to meaningfully tackle the backlog of cases that are before the high courts. He's confident that with the full complement of 4 judges, this will make a significant contribution to the reduction in the backlog.
Court lists are being generated, and they will advise the public of sittings in a new building, and those will be out shortly. Our chambers, the Attorney General's chambers, will continue to be ready and to provide all support as we have been doing over the years. And I'm sure the bar will be also ready, all of the stakeholders will be ready to get right back into it and to get the work of the dispensation of justice on its way. That being said, it would be remiss of me not to express our own gratitude for the support the Minister and the Ministry of Legal Affairs, my own office, has received from all stakeholders to return us to where we are. I must also express gratitude to those judges who during this last year has worked tirelessly in less than ideal and often challenging circumstances to get the job done.
The retrofitted facility was officially handed over to government on Monday. It houses 4 courts, 2 civil and 2 criminal, along with administrative offices.
The building was handed over to the government as being ready for court use. Yesterday, there was a test run in one of the criminal courts dealing with real court matters. Members of the public were present. This test run revealed that a few adjustments had to be made, and those are being presently carried out. For the civil courts, furniture is right now being carried across from the temporary court facilities which were at the Parliament building, as you all may know. I am advised by the Registrar of the Supreme Court that all of the court facilities will be ready for work on Monday. I must point out here that of the 4 judges assigned to Grenada, 2 are presently off island. One is to return this month end, and the other, who is on assignment in Antigua, will return mid next month.
In another development, Grenada's Attorney General Darshan Ramdani says given the appeal filed by the Commissioner of Police to challenge the inadequacy of a sentence meted out in a recent sexual assault case involving a minor, there is still a possibility for a custodial sentence to be imposed. At Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing, the Attorney General said it will be one of the options available to the appeal court when it hears the matter. If the sentence of a $1,500 fine payable to the state and $600 in compensation to the family is deemed inappropriate, the appeal court can throw this out and impose a sentence of imprisonment. Allaying fears that the departure of the perpetrator from the country will affect legal recourse after the appeal is heard, Mr. Ramdani said if he does not return voluntarily, the extradition process can be used. The Attorney General noted that the recent sentence has led to questions about the adequacy of Grenada's laws and the penalties imposed. Referencing the amendments made in 2012, which increased the penalties for most sexual offences following consultations with all stakeholders, Mr. Ramdani said the revision of legislation is a continuous process and noted that the AG's office and the Ministry of Legal Affairs have been continuously working on a number of amendments for several months.
The AG's office and the Minister of Legal Affairs have made conscious decisions to continuously assess our current laws. Right now, we are working on those aspects of laws which relates to the protection of vulnerable witnesses at trial so that victims can be safeguarded during the trial process. We are also looking at amendments to remove corroboration requirements for young children. As the law currently stands, if all the evidence and the only evidence against an alleged offender is the evidence of a child of tender years, then unless that man pleads guilty, it would be virtually impossible to convict him. One view which is being considered is that the possibility must exist for a conviction to flow from such evidence, that is, just the oral evidence of the child without any independent corroborating evidence.
The Attorney General is encouraging persons to get familiar with the provisions of the law. Making specific reference to members of the media and social commentators, he said that is driving public discussions. These individuals must research the facts, comment responsibly, and always seek to educate the public. He said it is important to appreciate the fact that significant work has been done legislatively, and Grenada is a leader in the region in this regard on many fronts.
The stakeholders are at work and in tandem. The police force has its special victims unit, which is expected to be engaged on every sexual allegation in the country so that protocols which have been established may be employed. Those, and the most important one of these, of course, is ensuring that where a child is involved, that the Child Protection Authority is involved in the earliest stages of the matter. If I might at this point remind all that the 2012 amendments actually added a legal obligation on parents and guardians who suspect legal abuse of their children or their ward. This obligation requires them to report their suspicion to the police. Failure to do so, the law actually punishes it by a term of imprisonment.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Okay. Thank you very much, Leslie Ann, and we will have more for you tomorrow. All right. That's as far as we can go for tonight. Just before we do so, let's just quickly see what we can expect with regards to the weather. And for tonight, we expect some light isolated showers. The minimum temperature 23.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Seas slight, waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. And that's our weather for tonight. And that's as far as I can go. We are running out of time. We have run out of time, in fact, and we have to stick to the schedule. Thank you guys, everyone. Good night to you. God bless you. We're going to touch base tomorrow again. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry I couldn't specifically say hi to anyone in particular, but you know how we roll. Thank you guys. We touch base tomorrow again. God bless you. Goodbye.